Hi, this is John Lavenia, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to obtain a most vital asset for your online marketing and business building efforts. But before we get into the main content of the video, I'd like to set the mood with an inspirational piece of music that I had the pleasure of listening to on my drive home from the gym today. Delightful. That was a sampling of a recent composition by the Christian metal band Thy Will Be Done out of Rhode Island, USA. You can find out more about them online. Okay. Let's get down to business and some content here. I'm going to open the computer. Here's what's going on. As you know, I've been working with a lot of people in the online business, getting into online business for the first time, getting into that whole space. I'm going to show you some stuff here on the computer, and there's a big, huge mistake that a lot of people are making that hopefully you're not making, and if you are, I want to help you correct that right now, and this will serve you forever. In fact, the further you go, the more it'll serve you. I'm going to show you what this is all about here on the computer. So let's take a look. And let's open good old Safari. I'm going to show you a couple of examples to illustrate the point that I want you to focus on during this video. I'm going to type, let's type some names of famous people. How about a famous businessman? DonaldTrump.com. And look what comes up. Donald Trump's website. Interesting. I'm going to type, how about a name of a famous online marketer? FrankKern.com. Oh, look, it's Frank Kern on this site. How about a famous singer? Obviously, I'm into metal. If you didn't know that before, you certainly know it now. But who's a famous singer these days? Lady Gaga. .com. Let's see what comes up. Oh, it's Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett, apparently. And if you go to this site, you get to see that. How about a famous author? WayneDyer.com. Ah, it's Wayne Dyer. Look at that. How about a famous actor? We'll just do one more example here. TomCruise.com. Oh, look. It's Tom Cruise's official website. Oh, this one even has music. Can you hear that? Oh, music. So how do we stop the music here? No, I don't want to do that. Damn it, stop it. Okay, anyway, here's the point. Everyone who's successful with their name, their brand, their business name, they own their domain .com. Okay, I want you. In fact, let me show you mine real quick. Let's look at this cool guy, JohnLavenia.com. Let's see what comes up. Oh, look at that handsome fella. Right? So am I making a point? The point is, and the big mistake, the huge mistake that I see so many people making when they're getting into online marketing as newbies, or if maybe they're not so new, they've been around for a while, but they still for some reason make this mistake. They don't even own their own name, .com. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, let's say that you're getting up and running in business, and you're learning marketing, and you're doing whatever you're doing. Maybe you're reading books, you're taking courses, and all this kind of stuff. And let's say that you actually became successful. I mean, presumably that's why you're endeavoring into business and stuff is to actually become successful. Well, let's say that happened. Let's say it's 10 years from now, and it doesn't have to be that long, but I'm going to give you an extreme example. It's 10 years from now, and you're rich and famous, right? And you're dominating in your marketplace. You're the guru of whatever you do. Do you suppose that there are people that may want to go to yourname.com and learn about your books, your latest products, your latest Lady Gaga tours or whatever? Of course they would. Of course they would. Now, it's 10 years later, you don't own your name, and you get to go buy it from, who knows, some guy in Indonesia who registered it when they saw you were up and coming, and now you can go ahead and buy it for them for $50,000 or something, or you can maybe negotiate it down to 30 grand. I mean, this stuff happens. There are people that make their living just by buying and selling domains. They take the risk buying it up front, and then they just sit on it thinking it's going to yield a huge profit later. Okay, this happens. So again, here's the big mistake, is not thinking with the end in mind, assuming you're doing what you do to be successful. If you are successful, you're damn well going to want your own domain name, .com. Okay, and you can buy other domain names as well or other dot whatevers. Like in this case, if you click on my site, it would go, if you go to the blog, you'll go to johnlavenia.net. Right? That's another domain, another variation. I also have misspellings of my name and things like that. So I own the John Lavenia property across the web. And I've owned it for years before I started building my influence online. Again, thinking with the end in mind. Now, what if you are currently afflicted by this problem? Well, we can correct that problem quite quickly by doing something like this. We go to instantdomainsearch.com. Now, I use my registrar that I use primarily is GoDaddy, but there's many registrars. GoDaddy's one that I've had very good results with in terms of their customer service, and I also have hosting there and lots of different things, email addresses, etc. And I'll talk about email more here in a second. But if you go to instantdomainsearch.com, they've got all the registrars, all the big registrars under this sort of search umbrella. And if you go ahead and you type anything, let's say your name is, Bob Smith, probably is not available. Okay, so Bob Smith. If your name is Bob Smith, very common name, okay, somebody already owns it, right? So you can find out who that is. You can go into auctions. You can get into buying, let's see here, gbsmith.com for $2,300, right? You see all this? So you may want to, if that specific domain, .com, is extremely valuable to you, you may want to get into buying, for high dollar amounts. Otherwise, let's say you're Bob Smith Accounting. No problem. So Bob Smith, the accountant, can go to Bob Smith Accounting and grab it for $199. Wonderful. Wonderful. And then you build your brand around that. You can get the .com, you can get the .net, you can get email addresses at bobsmithaccounting.com. You go ahead and click buy, and one of the reasons why I like instant domain search is because they got these coupons for GoDaddy, and you get a discount. Right now, you see here it's actually $2.99. I guess the $1.99 was less than perfectly accurate, but typically a domain registrar is like $10 to $12 a year to own this property. Okay, and you hold on to it essentially forever, unless you decide that Bob Smith Accounting is dead and you want to let that domain go. You're done with it. But once you register it right here, you've got it, and nobody else can get it. This is what you need to do, okay? Especially with your name, and especially if you intend to be successful on the web. Now, there's another advantage to doing this, and that is, I mentioned email before. Let's go to Aweber. Okay, now we're inside my Aweber account. Aweber is an autoresponder service. What that means is they send out emails on your behalf through their servers, and they could send thousands, hundreds of thousands of emails. Not a problem. That's the business that they're in. But the email has to come from somewhere to the list of recipients that you're sending it to. So here's one of my lists, and you can see here that the from name and address is me. Okay, in this case, I'm using one of my email addresses for one of my brands, boldstatementmarketing.com. And you can see that it's a unique business address. It's not in fact, you can see here with this little light bulb advisor that pops up here, please avoid free email addresses like Gmail or Hotmail. Okay, this can cause delivery problems. Why is that? Well, the email service providers know that somebody who's actually doing business, who's sending out mass bulk email and stuff like this, that's legitimate. They're going to have a domain. They're going to have not 10 million people using that same domain, to send out their emails. This is going to be of great value to you. So not only do you get to register, in this case, in my case, johnlavenia.com or something, or boldstatementmarketing.com, and I've got several others as well, but you can then use that as an asset here when you're going to send out your emails, okay? And it will increase your deliverability. Now, one more tip about this is that when you go to register the domain, we can go back to GoDaddy. Where was that? Let's just go here and grab GoDaddy again. Okay, so when you go to register this, you'll notice here when you register for 2 years or more, right, you're getting the discount price, okay, and they're gouging you a little bit here on the second year, but you want to register for at least 2 years, and here's why. Let's think about a scam artist out in, who knows, some country out there where they're running internet scams, like real scams, like fraud. okay? And they're going to buy up a bunch of domains, right? And they're going to use them to basically blast out spam emails and hopefully defraud people of their money and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to get blacklisted, and that domain is going to be destroyed in a matter of a couple of weeks as far as email deliverability is concerned. Those people who do that, they register the domains for 1 year because they know that domain's not going to last more than a couple weeks. They're going to kill it. Okay, they're going to cause it to be blacklisted. Well, you registering your domain, as GoDaddy suggests, for 2 years, and you can register it for more. They're happy to do that for you. But that says to the email service providers, oh, this is a legitimate person. They're thinking ahead. This is not, they don't want to be blacklisted. They don't want to spam. This is their business, their domain, right? So always register for at least 2 years, even if you don't even know if that domain's going to fly. Maybe I use it, maybe I don't. You were looking at a couple dollars here. No big deal. If you want to let it expire, let it expire. But always register for 2 years, because in the eyes of the email service providers, especially the more fascist and authoritarian ones like AOL, Hotmail, Yahoo, okay, they love to throw stuff in the spam folder, in the junk mail folder, when it looks anything less than what they deem is perfect for their viewer, okay? And so email deliverability is a big deal. Registering your domain for more than 1 year, right out of the gate, will assist you in your email deliverability. So I hope I've made the point. You definitely want to have yourname.com as a domain that you own. Now, one other thing before we wrap up, what do you do with this domain once you got it? I mean, you can just sit on it for $10 a year or whatever, but it would be a good idea to set up some email addresses with it. GoDaddy can certainly, or any registrar or email service provider can set up email addresses with that domain. Like I've got multiple email addresses at johnlavenia.com, at boldstatementmarketing.com, and at other domains as well. But from there, what about actually using the domain? I'm going to show you my blog that I showed you very briefly before. Here is johnlavenia.net. Okay, so what is this? This is the blog that comes off of johnlavenia.com, and it's a place that I can actually have some content here for this this domain that I bought. I bought the johnlavenia.net just as a redundant domain to johnlavenia.com. I own the .com. Let me grab a couple more, right? So the .net, let's put it to use. Now that brings up the point, well, do I need to buy server space and get a designer and all this kind of stuff? You certainly can, okay? But in this case, I just went ahead and mapped that domain to this website, which you see here is professionally designed. It's got lots of content, lots of value for anybody who goes to johnlavenia.com and clicks the blog tab, right? And this site cost me $25. I mean, no setup, no nothing. I put a custom graphic here, and I throw my content on here, and that's all very nice. Okay, and in fact, this website is very search engine friendly. It gets me traffic. It's wonderful. $25. No servers, no maintenance, no headaches, no nothing. Okay, it's ready to go in a matter of moments. So if you've got a domain that you don't know what to do with it, besides maybe hook up an email address to it and then sit on the domain, why not populate it with something and increase your influence in the online marketplace by putting something under that domain? In this case, $25, I can hook you up in a matter of minutes. So if you're interested in something like that, just email me at info@boldstatementmarketing.com or info@johnlavenia.com, and I can give you all the details on that. It's no big deal. So hopefully you got some value out of this, and hopefully you will avert a huge mistake that a lot of people have made and continue to make, despite the fact that they're already in business, attempting to conduct business with their name or with their company name. And I'd love to hear your comments, any questions you have, any ideas that you might want me to cover for future videos. I'm here to help. And if you'd like to hear more heavy metal in the videos, let me know that. We can do more of that as well. Hope this video finds you well. Feel free to share it, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.